all going to sing.
Very loud. Now it's very loud.
Too loud? Okay, hymn 361. Last verse. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalists of Southold, formerly the First Universalist Church of Southold. Whoever you are, wherever you come from, whomever you love, we welcome you. Today we are gathered on the traditional lands of the Ammonhansik Nation. My name is Randy Wade, and I'm a member of the Board of Trustees. We're so glad to see you, whether you're visiting for the first time or come often. If you're not on a mailing list or email list, please sign the guest book on that wood desk in the lobby. And then you'll receive the free spirit to know about fun activities and interesting ones. There's also copies of the newsletter on the desk, of the table. And please like us on the Unitarian Universalists of Southold Facebook. Why is this? YouTube. Facebook and YouTube. Just like us everywhere. We stream our services there and on YouTube, and you can find past services archived. The action table has other information that you may find interesting. Also, for use masks and sanitizers. We offer many ways to serve this community, from providing hospitality, flowers, and ushering on Sunday mornings to joining our social action and other committees. Please stay after the service for coffee, refreshments, and lively conversation. And now on the back of your order of service, note the upcoming events. It's very important that you remember to bring your little water from some meaningful place, and because it's the water ceremony on Sunday. It's a beautiful one that Valerie does. And then the Covenant Group is coming up. That's a small ministry that meets in the conference room on September 2nd, whatever day of the week that is. Tuesday, thanks. And then yoga, a week from Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. right here. Nancy Bayless will start up again with yoga meditation. And I just walk out of there feeling so great. The Social Action Committee meets on September 10th. You'll see the rest of these things. We have an important congregational retreat on Saturday, September 13th. So that's coming up soon, and definitely put that on your calendar. It'll be really interesting. And memorial service for Danya on September 20th. And you read the rest of that. And then, but I do want to, we have a wonderful guest here who's asked that I mention about the bill that has been passed by the legislature in the state to have physician-assisted suicide in New York. And it would help if you reach out to Governor Hochul's office. It needs to have support there in order to make sure she signs it. Then the other thing I want to say to you is, you've gotten this in the mail. There's some copies in the lobby. This is a new game have developed the Membership and Outreach Committee to get familiar with different things you could be doing or makes you feel good. So give it a try, 5 in a row, any direction, and you could be in the lottery to win a prize every month. So now, does anybody else have any announcements about the life of the church?
Okay, our big fundraiser this fall is a concert on September 21st, and the Mudflats are going to be playing for us. Please spread the word. They're a very popular group, and we would like as many people as possible to join us for an evening of fun, music, and just helping out the church.
September 21st.
Okay, and now is the time to greet your neighbor. join us in lighting the chalice. At times, our own light goes out and is rekindled by a spark from another person. Each of us has cause to think with deep gratitude of those who lighted the flame within us. These are the opening words. Come into the circle of love and justice. Come into the community of mercy, holiness, and health. Come and you shall know peace and joy. And now, if you could stand as you are able for hymn number 112. Last verse. Thank you. And I should have emphasized, I had said in the program 1 and 2 verse, but I should have said that out loud. Now let's join in singing the words of affirmation. Love is the spirit of this congregation and service, its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. And now the doxology. Offering to take up the offering to fund the work of the church and the maintenance of the building. And though, just to remind you all, we haven't said it in a while, those boxes were created by Peter Young and out of wood from the old church that burned down. Name of the what?
Souls.
Margot, come up here and introduce yourself and explain what group you're with, because I love that,
Hi.
we have you here.
My name is Margot Andrea, and it is such an honor to be here with you today. I'm a huge fan of a certain Charlotte Day, and she asked me to come and be with you today, so I'm really happy to be here. Thank you so much. I should just quickly mention that I'm also the artistic director of the Long Island Baroque Ensemble, and we are having more and more concerts out here. I reside in Greenport and in the city, And on October the 4th, I have a very special group of people coming to the North Fork Arts Center. I'm giving a program of Baroque masterpieces called The Pearl in the Oyster, and we have the concert mistress of the orchestra of St. Luke's in the city coming to play, so not to be missed. And she plays a violin that was built in the 1700s, and her husband's bass is from the 1750s, and so I encourage you to attend that on October 4th. You'll see. It's at the North Fork Art Center, which is the old movie theater that's turned into an art center. So hope to see you. Thanks.
Thank you, Randy.
Margaret, and next time here, right?
Yes.
We're looking forward to having you be here.
Yes.
Great. Now is the time we share our joys and sorrows. I welcome you all to come up and put a stone in the water. Oh, come on. Somebody must have one joy or another, one worry.
I'm thankful for this day and for the bounty of summer.
And then you're not going to come up with another one? There's nobody who wants to. Okay, I'm sorry for the problem that Seal is having with her hearing aids. I'm joyful that we have Margot here today. And let us remember there are always joys and sorrows that go unspoken for many reasons, but we are not alone as we hold one another in our hearts. No. We went past that. Oh, I didn't know.
Today's prayer are the words of Howard Thurman. In the quietness of this place, surrounded by the all-pervading presence of the holy, my heart whispers, keep fresh before me the moments of my high resolve, that in good times or in tempests, I may not forget that to which my life is committed. Keep fresh before me the moments of my high resolve. Today's responsive reading is number 439, We Gather in Reverence. We gather in reverence before the wonder of life, the wonder of being together, so close yet so apart. Each listening, each trying to speak. We gather in reverence before all intangible things that eyes see not, nor ears can detect. Good morning. Can you hear me now? I want to speak today about being heard and its corollary of active listening, because I think about these topics a lot. at meetings, at Zoom calls, and various things, just universally interacting with other human beings. And I just want to share what I found out from persons much wiser than I. How many times have we been in social situations where one or two persons will dominate the room because rather than conversing, they're lecturing? Show of hands. And conversely, how many times have we found ourselves in a conversation where we are so anxious to put in our 2 cents, we don't really let the other person get in their whole thought? Raising my hand to that too. On a deeper level, I have to say that rather than actively listen to loved ones, I have often filled in the blanks where my listening falls short with words I just wanted to hear, or words that I feared hearing, often leading to misunderstandings and bad decisions. So to provide some context, I grew up in what can only be described as a loud household. I am the oldest of 6 children, and our dinner table was basically the site of what the Beach Boys referred to as a wall of sound. We children tripped over ourselves to be heard, to express ourselves, and sometimes just to hear ourselves talk. Interruptions were a way of life, and we brought it to an art form. My parents were usually overwhelmed by the sheer volume, until our dad would shout, "Silence!" which led to about 2 minutes of quiet. After one family dinner, when one brother's girlfriend was in attendance, the poor girl said, "Your family treats silence as if it were a mortal sin." That meant a lot to Roman Catholics, but it perfectly described our aversion to anything smacking of quietness. There are so many writings out there about silence, about active listening, and about being heard that I have found no shortage of material to read and think about. When I first became a member of All Souls in Manhattan, and I've spoken about this numerous times before, I joined a small group ministry, a collection of women who met every other Thursday for 2 or 3 hours to discuss a selected Unitarian virtue. Each of us in turn had 3 minutes to talk about the virtue, what it meant to us, and our experiences. No interruptions were allowed. No sounds or gestures of support or agreement or disagreement, no reactions of any kind. It forced the rest of us to listen without formulating a response in our minds or jumping into comment. Even after the speaker was done, the rules of the group required us to be silent for an additional 2 minutes to contemplate what was said. The feeling that this process engendered in me was a revelation. I could speak and express myself without the fear of being interrupted. I could speak and be reasonably assured that I was being listened to and heard. I didn't have to rush forward with my thoughts in order to be able to get it all out before someone else jumped in to cut me off. And more importantly, I was compelled to afford the other women in the group the same respect and attention. One week, the virtue we discussed was silence. What a concept. There was so much to contemplate with that one word, and so many examples out there to be discovered when I prepared for my own 3 minutes for that week's discussion. I read about persons who'd observed silence as a religious practice, and others who just observed 1 day of silence each week or each month as a spiritual exercise. One story I remember was of the writer Anne de la Clare and her book entitled Listening Below the Noise. She has a family, a husband, and children, and she wrote about setting aside every other Monday to be silent, a regular day of contemplation. At first, she was filled with some fear about being mom and maybe being left out, but she forged forward with her plan anyway. Her family was also a bit fearful and a little nervous and annoyed and questioning, but her family accepted this bi-weekly silence eventually and soon discovered that how much freedom it afforded them all. Her husband found Mondays to be the perfect day to speak on and on and on at length about his day, his feelings, and other random things. but without the fear of reprisals, responses, or interruptions. And understanding the importance of her silence practice soon dawned on him. Her children opened up to her in ways they never had before, sharing their problems without the possibility that mom would jump right in with suggested solutions. LeClaire was obliged to sit silently, and as much as she sometimes wanted to respond, she just listened with her heart to her family's words, as well as all the pauses and the silences. The extended silences that followed her family's sharing invited more sharing and deeper connections, and fed her own spiritual practice. She felt she was involved in rewiring her brain to hear in a new way. There's a great poem by John Fox that goes, "When someone deeply listens to you, it is like holding out a dented cup you've had since childhood and watching it fill up with cold, fresh water. When it balances on top of the brim, you are understood. When it flows and touches your skin, you are loved. When someone deeply listens to you, the room where you stay starts a new life, and the place where you wrote your first poem begins to grow in your mind's eye. It is as if gold has been discovered. When someone deeply listens to you, your bare feet on the earth are a beloved land that seemed distant is now at home within you." I recently complained to my sister-in-law that as I grow older, I feel I am becoming invisible. She completely understood where I was coming from, but my brother was totally confused. I explained that I felt that as a woman's outer veneer of youth and vitality diminishes, she becomes less visible to certain eyes. I think the same can be said for being listened to, and for the value often associated with a woman's words and opinions in particular. As an engineer, having worked with mostly men for my entire career, I experienced the biases and the gendered responses to what I had to add to discussions. But being heard and actively listening goes beyond age and gender, and really is a matter of connection with the rest of humanity. As Paul Tillich writes, the first duty of love is to listen without biases or preconceived opinions or anticipations, without being too eager to respond, is a way to show love and respect. And deep, active listening, I have read, can be learned. Research on the topic, and here I am tapping my science nerd head, states that the ability to listen is not a personality trait, but takes mindfulness and practice to learn. Quoting from a website called reflectionport.org, decades of research demonstrate that focused, attentive, and empathetic listening is a teachable skill, and that the best way to become a good listener is by practicing it. This is not as easy as it sounds, pun intended. As I age, I find it more difficult to hang on to thoughts that a conversation may spark in me, and so for fear of losing that thread, I want to jump in and express the thoughts before they're lost. That leads to interrupting and cutting off another's expressing themselves. Enthusiasm and eagerness to engage can also cause us to interrupt, but it stifles the flow of a productive conversation and prevents the true exchange of ideas and feelings. The key is entering each conversation with deep listening intent. That requires firstly to allow silences, which may be a little easier for me now that I no longer believe in mortal sin, but it's still difficult. Lulls in conversation may make us uncomfortable, but they encourage true communication. Author Andre Aciman's story called Are You Listening? Is about his relationship with his mother and her deafness. As a child, he didn't realize she didn't hear because she was so adept at reading his expressions and body language. There was no need for words, and their quiet signals to each other enabled silences to hold rich communications. The key to truly hearing is allowing silences. Krishnamurti says, to listen there must be an inward quietness, a freedom from the strain of acquiring, a relaxed attention. This alert yet passive state is able to hear what is beyond verbal conclusion. Words confuse, they are only the outward means of communication. But to commune beyond the noise of words, there must be in listening an inert passivity. It is only in listening that one hears the song of the words. If we feel that we are truly understood and listened to, and that in important times of stress or sorrow or happiness, we are understood, we can feel truly loved. And by being privileged to be able to actively listen to another, we can show our deepest love. I want to close with the words of Thich Nhat Hanh. If we love someone, we should train in being able to listen. By listening with calm and understanding, we can ease the suffering of another person and cultivate awareness. As we listen, we open our hearts. reading from the book that I talked earlier about by Anne de la Clare. She says, "When we are truly silent within and without, we surrender the ego's need to be right. This is sometimes difficult. Many of us have learned that to be wrong is to be shamed, to be less than, to be judged and found wanting. We fear not being loved or accepted. Given the choice, of course, we would rather be right than wrong. But too often we would rather be right than happy or silent."
Can you please turn to hymn 163? We're going to do just verses 1 and 2, and stand if you wish. I catch the pattern of your silence before you speak. I do not need to hear a word. In your silence, every tone I seek is heard. And now, join in extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together.